Determining how various drainage management practices affect water quality within the Western Lake Erie Basin is the goal of new state-funded research. The Michigan Departments of Agriculture and Rural Development and Environmental Quality are teaming up with Michigan State University to investigate the effectiveness of controlled drainage at 3 Lenawee County Farms in order to determine if the practice reduces nutrient load from the fields.
Well, we have funded some tile line control structures in the Western Lake Erie Basin because we're interested in reducing phosphorus and nitrate loads to the lake. And we are specifically interested in testing the effectiveness of these tile line control structures. We think they have a lot of potential to reduce loads from the tiled fields. So we're interested in assessing the effectiveness and using that to measure progress toward achieving our load reduction goals.
One of the practices that we're looking at today at this site that we're on is called the saturated buffer. This system basically, rather than the water from the drainage system flowing into the drainage ditch through the main pipe and out into the drainage ditch, we are taking the water, forcing the water into pipes that run along the length of the buffer. And the water from the distribution pipes that run along the length of the buffer will slowly seep the water out and flow into the saturated buffer. So as water is moving through the soil, the biological activity in the soil helps remove nitrate from the water and reduce the nitrate concentration. We don't know much about the phosphorus, what it's going to do for phosphorus. That is one of the reasons that we're doing this research, to find out about the phosphorus, what's happening with phosphorus for the saturated buffer. What's unique about this project is that we have a control to compare the saturated buffer with. For example, at this site behind me, we have the saturated buffer, and at this spot here, we have the conventional free drainage, which is going to be the control treatment. And we're going to be comparing these two to each other to see how much nutrient load reduction are we getting with the saturated buffer system.
Water samples will be pulled every 7 days, with the frequency increasing following rain events or manure applications.
It's kind of scary to get that data from your farm maybe, but at the same token, I wish we had data that went back 20, 30, 40 years, because in my mind with the dairy, I think we're doing a better job managing the waste and such than we used to years ago, but we have no data to back that up. So we're creating baseline data now, not as early as I'd like to see, but we can't go back.
We're hoping for good results in two areas. One, that we can show that there's load reductions from the control structures, and the second is that we can show that there's also potentially some increased yield potential, so that's a good selling point for the farmers too. Better water quality and better yields through these implementation of these practices.
The state is pumping over $1 million into the 5-year study, the results of which will be available at future Center for Excellence Field Days.